Hello guys, and welcome back to Nitro Reviews. Today we're going to review a show that I haven't seen in quite some time. That being Kim Possible. Now, Kim Possible is a rather odd show, as it came out at a rather odd time. Here's a little history lesson.
I borrowed some time to get Mondo tubular.
Back in the 90s, Disney was considered a hip or radical channel, where the early 90s had shows like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, classics. The later half of the 90s had Quack Pack and the Mighty Ducks. Shows that were trying to bring in some crowds that science has theorized never to exist in the first place. So, when the 2000s hit, Disney figured out that cartoons alone weren't going to draw in the teenage crowds they needed. So they decided to change their game plan and they went for a different approach. And that's when the Disney live-action era began. Well, that's not completely true, as Disney has been doing live-action shows since the 80s. But this era is a little different from those, as Disney started putting out shows like Phil the Future, Sweet Life and Zack and Cody, and the more popular Hannah Montana. It was like the Nick's live-action era, just not as good. And it was also like the Cartoon Network's live-action era, just... Anyways, after finding some success with their live-action shows, they decided that now would be a good time to try to bring their teen fans into a more animated area. Which is why we got shows like The Proud Family, Lizzie McGuire, which is sort of a mix between live-action and animation, and of course, Kim Possible. Now that we're back to the show, let's go ahead and talk about its creators. So Kim Possible had two creators, one being Bob Schooley, who had written screenplays for all of our Disney classics, such as Aladdin, Return of Jafar, Aladdin, King of Thieves, and The Lion King, Simba's Pride. In all honesty, though, I do have a soft spot for the King of Thieves. Don't hate me. As for Mark McCorkle, he's done about the same. Both of these guys have done a lot of projects together, as well as are currently working on a new series based off Disney's Big Hero 6. So, could these guys make a good series based on the works they've done in the past? Well, we do have Kim Possible. There's so much to talk about, and I'm getting lazier by the second, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Keep in mind, these are my opinions and my opinions alone. I have no biased feeling towards the subject matter at hand, and all rights belong to Disney. Our episode starts us off with the class having a lecture outside on a not-so-fine day, as the students are reminded of the assignments that are due within the near future. While Kim Possible finished hers a week ago, Ron Stoppable, on the other hand, For those who haven't seen the series, Ron Stoppable is Kim Possible's sidekick or partner who ends up helping her throughout her missions. And, to be honest, I feel like me and Ron have quite a bit of connection going on, especially in the art of procrastination. Kim is, of course, a responsible teen cheerleader, so they're both quite polar opposites. While Ron's figuring out a topic for his project, we are now introduced to Wade, Kim's tech man. We never really get to see Wade in person throughout the series, but he doesn't believe he needs to actually show up or go out, as he can pretty much do anything he wants from his computer, and he does show it all throughout the series. Hell, the guy can track villains on GPS while even Special Task Force have trouble with it. And so Kim and Ron are picked up by an aircraft carrier. Really, don't think too much about it. It's normal in this series. And they are sent off to find Dr. Draken, one of the show's main villains. And while the main characters are a hit or miss for some people, one thing that may draw a lot of people into this show are the villains. There are a lot of creative and fun villains in this show, and they really make the episodes. Kim and Ron manage to find Dr. Draken's stealth submarine and sneak aboard, only to stick out in the open and get caught in a fight with Draken's sidekick/partner, Shigo. Shigo herself is a rather interesting character, as she is much smarter and much stronger than Dr. Draken, But she is a much lazier character and would rather help his schemes instead of work on her own. And a little spoiler for the series, eventually she does just one of her own schemes and manages to not only take over the world, but also enslave all of humanity. While they fight, Dr. Draken launches his latest weapon, the Devastator drone.
Impossible, for while Shigo keeps you busy, I shall launch my hypertronic Devastator drone!
Wait, no countdown? No, he's actually learning.
During the time it takes the computer voice to count backwards from 10, you always manage to defeat me. Not anymore.
There are a lot of jokes in this show that really make fun of the classic villain formula, which I'm just a sucker for. But the drone launches, and as it turns out, Ron happened to kick off a vital piece of the machine, causing it to come crashing down.
And yeah, it kind of snapped off.
Without the gyroscopic control unit, the drone will instantly crash. You buffoon!
I do what I can.
We then cut back to Kim's house, where her and Wade are talking about how Dr. Draken and Shigo got away, and Ron tells her not to worry.
Oh, I guess we just have to wait till Draken's next take over the world scheme.
And Draken's most diabolical scheme yet is...
Excellent luck. Now take the shampoo and lather.
apparently a job at Bed Bath & Beyond Despair, which is really him just trying to create a brainwashing shampoo. Something that I do love about Dr. Draken is he's a great mix of just evil and being silly. He's like the Jack Spicer on Shaolin Showdown. While his main goal is to take over the world and focuses on it primarily, he also has moments like...
Through a tunnel stuck in a canyon in an elevator. Do you even listen?
So Draken creates his shampoo, Lather, Rinse, Obey. Kind of like Axe and Old Spice, just better smelling. And Draken has the brilliant idea of how to market it.
I must put on my marketing hat and move some product. Does your shampoo make you feel like this? Mine does. Dr. Draken's brainwashing shampoo and cranium rinse. Feel like a new you.
Unsurprisingly, Draken's new shampoo doesn't sell very well, and he begins ranting on about it.
I don't get it. What went wrong?
I don't know. Do you think maybe it was your picture on the bottle?
Well, Shiga does have a point, but hell, the commercial sold me. Well, Draken gets another idea on how to market his product, and that is by hooking on to someone else's fame in order to sell it. And so he goes up to a famous rapper and...
Lather, rinse, obey? I don't think so.
Well, but perhaps if you tried the product, you might change your mind.
I don't think so.
But this is crucial to my plan.
Fool!
Okay, what the hell? I mean, let's be honest here. Most rappers today would kill for a promotion like this. Well, another story. Draken returns to his lair and...
I cannot believe you actually met MC Honey and didn't get me an autograph.
I was focusing on taking over the world instead. One has to wonder about my priorities.
Oh, come on, you just gotta love this guy. Draken does have another idea that perhaps he needs to build his own fame so that way he can sell his product. And if only he waited until YouTube became a thing. Finally, we cut back to Kim and Ron, who I kind of forgot were in this episode, but we cut to them talking about Ron's assignment when...
If you're looking for talent, I'm afraid you'll be bitterly disappointed this evening.
You watch this? Only when it's on?
Yeah, remember when American Idol was a big thing way back when? Well, this is a similar version, and you can only guess who the judge is. We then cut back to Shigo and Draken, who are watching the same show, and Draken has another idea, being the fourth time this episode, that this may be the moment he's been waiting for. And if I can just say, I love the amount of determination Draken is putting into this harebrained scheme. So Draken decides to join the show, but instead of going through auditions like everyone else, he decides to go sweet talk to producer. which denies Draken at first until he tries some of his shampoo, in which case he conveniently changes his mind. But here's the part that confuses me. Since the producer is brainwashed, couldn't Draken have at least asked them to advertise his shampoo on their show, or even Draken sponsor some of the singers on the show in order to get a wide variety of fans? Guess not. We cut back to Kim and Ron, who's freaking out over his failing project.
Ron, why do you do this to yourself?
Kim, procrastination is one of the few skills I've mastered. Don't slam it! Oh, look, TV!
Yeah, me and him are very alike. Anyways, they turn on to the show as Draken is about ready to sing, trying to go all 90s Disney on the crowd. But before he can sing, the episode hits its limit and he has to wait until next week to sing. We then cut back to school where Ron's still on about his project. And I know I shouldn't really keep bringing up this little side story, but it does come in later. So with that said, Ron tells Kim that she should go ahead and beat Draken at his own game on the show, and Kim goes along with it. And back to Draken. As it turns out, he did make one satisfied customer, even if it counts as cheating. And as it turns out, Kim is there as well, having Ron write her some tasty lyrics. Kim notices something's off with the judge, and she goes off to investigate. As for Draken,
Shigo, give me a beat. Yes, Shigo. Give me a beat, Shigo. Shigo! Fine. If you want a beat done right.
yeah, Shigo usually just stays out of some of his dumber ideas. So Draken begins rapping a fairly good song, which is somewhat of an origin story of his. And while this song is a bit, it can actually be a bit catchy. I mean, just listen to this part.
What I can do, show you all some freaky shampoo. Lather and Tango Bay. It's time to wash our hair today. You may think I'm a villain, yo, I'm just chillin'. Come and let me hear you say, Lather and Tango Bay. I'm a player just playing his play.
Yeah, it's stupid, but tell me that won't be nagging at the back of your mind for quite some time. So Kim finds what Draken did to the judge, but
Knew he was acting too nice. Aw, don't worry, Kimmy. I'm still nasty.
well, this is a PG-13 review, so we're just going to skip over what happens. I'm going to leave that to your imagination. Anyways, they announced there's one last singer to star on the show, but Kim's a bit busy at the moment. So Ron decides to step in and sing his paper. I won't show you the song he sings, but it's pretty bad. So, in the end, Draken's disqualified, his warehouse got raided by the police, and Ron ends up getting a B- on his paper, proving once again that procrastination always pays off. Some final notes. Does the show really hold up that well after all the years that have passed? Well, it has a charm to it. Yes, some things may hold it back and haven't really progressed over the years, but there are a lot of reasons to get into the show or to rewatch it, whether it be for the characters, the stories they go through, or even for some quick laughs at a lot of different ways. I definitely recommend this show.